Hi everybody, today I want to kind of demonstrate some of the advantages of having using equipment and horses together. This is still on my land, but over the last couple weeks I've kind of been in and out of here, so I've got a couple afternoons of skidding logs here, and I've been down in my other plantations I have on this property, so I haven't been here that much. But anyways, I have some logs I need to get out for the sawmill, so it's actually not going to my mill, it's going to another mill, and so I have to load these logs onto my wagon, and then I'll use a skid steer to do that with, and then I'll be taking them down to my place where I can get the log truck to, and that will be, so then the wagon will be unloaded with the excavator. So I would just like to show you how I go about doing that, and the advantages of having both horses and equipment.
Every log job is a little bit different. This one I decided to use the wagon because it's a fairly long ways to take the logs out to the landing where the log truck can get to. So here we are loading it up with the skid steer. Years ago they would do this method, but they'd have to roll the logs on by hand. Some people still do today, but with the skid steer it just makes it so much simpler and so nice. A lot of jobs are fairly close skids, so I would just ground skid them to the landing. The big advantage of the wagon is you can haul so much more in one load as you can skidding it on the ground. Here you can see my yellow fuel can that I had to bring some diesel in for the skid steer this morning. Unfortunately, diesel is needed for the machine. I can't just get away with oats and grass and hay. I've had this excavator for a couple years now. I'm still not very good at operating it, but I guess I'll get better as I practice more. I do prefer having a skid steer to load and unload logs, but this also works good. One of the disadvantages of having a wagon is sometimes getting it turned around when you get out to the woods where you want to load them up. This landing has quite a few stumps on it, and I'm going over them, but that wagon pretty well bounces over them pretty good. And then I have to sometimes I take a pretty sharp turn with the wagon, probably sharper than I should, and I kind of drag the front end around, but I do it carefully so I won't break the wagon. This is a heavier duty wagon than you would really have to have if you were logging, but I do like this with the tandem tires on the back. It goes over stumps really good. Also, I have 4 bunks on it, so I'm able to double logs up, meaning I can put 8 and a 10 or 2 8s together end to end, and they each have their own bunk to sit on. If you just have 2 bunks, then you're limited a little bit. Most of the time on these shorter skids I just use the 2 bunks and I just go straight up with the load, but it's nice to have those options. when I compare the two different machines, the skid steer and the excavator, I like the skid steer because it can cover ground so much faster than the excavator can. It makes it really nice when you have logs scattered all over the place. You can go pick them up and grab them and throw them on. This pine plantation has some very poor quality logs on it. A lot of crooked logs and a lot of trees with double tops. So I'm always cutting in a lot of blocks out of each tree to attempt to get straight logs. So it's nice to have the skid steer to be able to push these blocks out of the way. Also, it keeps my landing, which is sometimes next to the road, and visibility for people, and it's nice to be able to keep those landings clean. It just makes logging look better. When I come out with a load of logs, it's nice to be able to pull right up to the back of my trailer, and sometimes I'll hitch the horses, sometimes I won't, but I have that option, so that works really nice. I have to park the wagon right in this logging road, and there's no place to turn around without backing up, so I have to back all the way out of here to get turned around. Backing a wagon is always difficult, at least for me, whether it's with a pickup or a tractor or even the horses. But I do prefer using the horses for backing more so than anything else. They have the ability to sidestep, and they can get into some pretty tight corners and still work their way out of it by sidestepping. When I'm using the wagon, I get anywhere from 800 board feet to 1,000 board feet on the wagon. Earlier I had brought some tamarack up, and I have 2 loads of tamarack on this landing that you can't see right now. So when the trucker comes, he'll get all of it, and it should make plenty for a load when he gets here. Okay, trucker's supposed to come tomorrow morning to pick up this load of logs. I hope you enjoyed the video.